everyone. I'm so excited about the month of August. Do you all know why? Because we celebrate many festivals and events in this month, like Quit India Movement Day on 8th of August, World Organ Donation Day on the 13th of August, Independence Day on the 15th of August, Raksha Bandhan, and many more. Not only these, a historical event is observed on 6th of August every year. I am sure you want to know more about this historical event. So, me and my friends are here to tell you more about Hiroshima Day, which is observed on 6th of August every year. Hiroshima Day is observed on 6th August every year. The United States dropped an atomic bomb on the Japanese city of Hiroshima on 6th August 1945 during the course of the Second World War, leading to the deaths of over 20,000 soldiers and about 70,000 to 126,000 civilians. A similar bomb was dropped on another Japanese city of Nagasaki 3 days later, leading to a further of 80,000 deaths. This was the first and only instance of the usage of nuclear weapons in the world. At the time of its bombing, Hiroshima was a city of industrial and military significance and was a supply and logistics base for the Japanese military. On August 6, 1945, a US B-29 warplane named Enola Gay unleashed a bomb nicknamed Little Boy on Japan's southwestern city of Hiroshima, killing 140,000 and leaving lakhs injured, many of whom died in coming years.
Historic pictures of the tragic incident show that the huge blast led to a mushroom cloud which grew as 9,000 meters or 30,000 feet. Temperatures near the blast reached an estimated 7,000 degrees Celsius or 12,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which caused fatal burns within a radius of about 3 kilometers. On August 9th, the United States dropped another bomb named Fat Man in the city of Nagasaki, killing more than 75,000 people.
The Manhattan Project was US government program during World War II that developed and built first atomic bombs. Detonation of these first nuclear bombs were signaled arrival of a frightening new atomic age.
Those who survived the attack wandered the irradiated streets in a pitiful state. Others were buried under the piles of rubble, and others still lay stricken on the ground, too injured to walk. The city's rivers were clogged with corpses of wretched souls who desperately needed relief from their horrendous burns. Aftermath of the bombing. After the fire burned themselves out, Hiroshima was unrecognizable. The occasional ruin of a concrete building, a few forlorn lines of telegraph poles, and thousands of dead trees were all that remained standing in the vast wasteland of rubble.
Those who survived the bombing would come to be known as hibakushas, which translates as exploitation affected people. Their lives in the decades following the bombing would not be easy. An entirely false belief grew up that those who had exposed to the radiation carried illnesses they could pass on to others. As a result, many hibakushas were shunned by society and faced severe financial hardship.
It wasn't until the 1950s that the Japanese government had recognized the plight of Hibakusha and awarded the survivors of bombings to monthly allowance and access to free medical care. This went somewhere in relieving the financial pressure on Hibakusha, but it did not remove any stigma surrounding them, which carried on for decades.
5-6 years of the bombing, the incidence of leukemia increased noticeably among the survivors. After about a decade, the survivors began suffering from lung and thyroid and other cancers at higher than normal rates.
Pregnant women exposed to the bombings have experienced high rate of miscarriage and deaths among their infants. Their children were more likely to have intellectual disabilities and impaired growth and an increased risk of developing cancer.
Every year, on August 6th, the day the bomb was dropped, Hiroshima holds a ceremony in Peace Memorial Park. There, the mayor reads out his annual peace declaration. The city of Hiroshima is determined to fulfill its mission as an international peace cultural city. It will be continued doing this so that it can rid our world from nuclear weapons and make a world of genuine and lasting peace.
The post-war success of the Japanese economy is both impressive and a personal achievement. Japan has the world's third largest economy, having achieved a remarkable growth in the 20th century after the devastation of the Second World War. Its role in the international community is considerable. It is a major aid donor and a source of global capital and credit.
The elimination of nuclear weapons is not something one country can do alone. This is only possible if each person has a strong will and desire to eliminate nuclear weapons. If we all cooperate, we can become a force powerful enough to influence nations to stop the usage of nuclear weapons. We, the students of Delhi International School, take this opportunity to pay our respects to those who lost their lives due to bombing effects. Thank you.
10 years after the end of the war, Hiroshima was recovering rapidly. One of the important reasons was Hiroshima Peace Memorial City Construction Law enacted in 1949. This law said that Hiroshima, one of the first cities in human history to be destroyed by atomic bomb, should take a role of leading the world for peace. Thus, the nation government provided the money to rebuild the city as City of Peace. In 1958, the population of Hiroshima rose to 410,000, finally exceeding to what it was before the war. In 1980, Hiroshima became the Japan's 10th government ordinance designated city. At present, it's a major urban center, home to 1.12 millions. However, the people of Hiroshima have certainly not forgotten the fact that the city was once transformed to rubble by an atomic bomb.